Yeah, I think all I've heard is we're going to be missing Ed tonight. But otherwise, I think we're expecting everyone. Oh, you're on mute, Jim.
Yeah, it's not gonna be here. He just got back from Montana.
Yeah.
Through the chair, you're live on HCAM TV.
Thank you, Mr. Hamilton. All right, being that it's 7 o'clock, I'm going to go ahead and start the recording.
Recording in progress.
And welcome everybody to the meeting tonight. Thanks for coming on, it's a holiday week, but I think being on the meeting here is better than sitting in traffic in the rain. It's what anyone who's not here is probably doing. All right, I'll start with the remote meeting script. This is the November 26, 2024 open meeting of the Hopkinton Conservation Commission being conducted remotely, consistent with an act extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency. The new law authorizes all members of a public body to continue participating in meetings remotely. The open meeting law's requirement that a quorum of the body and the chair be physically present at the meeting location remains suspended. For this meeting, the Hopkinton Conservation Commission is convening by video conference via Zoom app as posted on the town's web meeting calendar and the Conservation Commission agenda, identifying how the public may join. Additionally, the meeting may also be broadcast by HCAM through one or many of its channels or platforms. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that others may be able to see you and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Supporting materials that have been provided to the members of the commission for this meeting are available on the town's website. This meeting will feature public comment. After commission members and staff have discussed each project application on the agenda, the chair will open the discussion to public comment. Members of the public who wish to speak are asked to identify their name and address. 3 minutes will be afforded for each public comment. Each vote taken in the meeting will be conducted via roll call of the members. So I will now confirm which commission members are present. Jim?
Yeah.
Ted? I did not see Ted come in yet. Ed is absent tonight. Janine?
Present.
Heather?
Present.
Matt?
Present.
And I, myself, Melissa Ricos, am present. And I will now confirm staff that are present. Judy?
Present.
Anna?
Present.
And Joe?
Present.
All right. Awesome. I guess to get started, we had a couple, or at least one last minute scratch to the agenda. So just point that out to anyone on the call that 12 Maple Street extension will not be heard tonight. Applicant requested a continuation to December 17th. Also, Hopkinton Stone Garden at 28 Lumber Street will not be heard. It is being continued at the request of the applicant to December 17th. All right. So with that being said, we'll start with documents for review under the work session items. So Judy or Anna, we have a certificate of compliance for 178 Ash Street.
Sure, through the chair. So the three documents for review and your signatures tonight are the three documents that we closed at our last meeting. So 178 Ash Street, certificate of compliance for a new single family house, the Hopkinton DPW's Granite Street right of way. That's a negative determination for the geotechnical borings. And then Picard 34 Downey Street was a certificate of compliance for the boat lift. So the documents have all been prepared by Judy, and they're ready for signatures by Anna tonight if the commission so chooses.
Yep, I think I am on board with that. I think that's what we talked about at the last meeting. Did we vote at the last meeting for signature by you, Anna, or we need to do that?
We did not. That's why they're listed
That's why
tonight.
they're there. Yeah, okay.
Yes, please. And then as a friendly reminder, anything we may close tonight, if we could please request signature pages.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Melissa.
Yes.
I'll make a motion for that. I'll make a motion that Anna sign
Mhm.
for us.
Okay,
Is that what you're looking for?
close and sign. Yep.
Yeah.
Close the hearing and sign. All right, can I get a second?
Second.
And all right, so I'm gonna do the roll call here. Jim,
Aye.
head is still okay. Janine,
Aye.
Heather,
Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
and I am an I. So that one's all set. Can I get a motion to close the negative determination of applicability for DPW and signatures by Anna? And you just need a motion.
So moved.
In a second.
Second. I was on mute.
All right, roll call. Jim,
Aye.
Janine,
Aye.
Heather,
Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
and I'm also an I. And then lastly, can I get a motion for 34 Downey Street? Certificate of compliance and signatures by Anna.
So moved.
In a second.
Second.
All right. All in favor, Jim, Janine,
Aye.
Aye.
Heather,
Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
and I am also an I. All right. So all set there. Draft minutes for review from September 10th. Did anyone have any comments or not have enough time to review these? This was a carryover from the last meeting. All right. Hearing no comments, can I get a motion to approve the minutes from September 10th?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor, Jim,
Aye.
Janine,
Aye.
Heather,
Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
and I'm also an I. So those are all set. All right, next up, we'll go to Hopkinton DPW 238 Wood Street exemption request for a tree. Anna, do you or Judy want to go through this one?
Through the chair, I'm happy to present this one. Carrie Reed, DPW Director, reached out to Judy and myself regarding 4 hazard trees on the Woodville Fire Station property at 238 Wood Street. 3 of the trees along the driveway were very clearly dead and leaning over the driveway. So Judy and I administratively will be approving those 3 trees. The 4th tree that Carrie requested is in the center of the property, quite close to the existing fire station building. They are about to replace the roof, and the tree has been dropping branches. It is definitely not dead, but it is declining. There's definitely some rot on it, some missing bark, and the fire department through the DPW is requesting that that be deemed a hazardous tree. So the reason we are coming to the commission for this is it is riverfront to Whitehall Brook, so it is jurisdictional. So we are requesting that the commission deem this tree a hazard and allow the removal of this tree.
Okay. I just saw Carrie hop on the call. Carrie, did you want to say anything on this one or add anything to what Anna had just described if you caught it?
No, I think from what I heard, I think Anna covered it all. So I'm just here in case anybody has any questions and just to hear any of your feedback. But
Okay.
yeah, I think she covered it all.
Okay. It seems pretty straightforward to me. It's obviously in lawn area. Does anyone on the commission have any questions about this one?
So would we look for replacement here? I know it's usually, I think, what, 3-to-1 when it's not a dead tree? Is it 1-to-1 when it's a hazardous tree? If I'm remembering correctly.
Through the chair.
Yes, Anna.
So typically we do a 2-to-1 replacement. The fire department has indicated they are more than happy to do some native replacements. They do have, hopefully in the next few years, an addition project that they will be coming to the commission to be putting an addition on this building. And at that time, they're hoping to include those replacement plantings as part of the new design. They don't want to put something in right away and then have to either move it or have it in the way of either staging or additional work that they're doing. So the fire chief has indicated that he is willing to do some natives, and that was Carrie's recommendation and Judy and I's recommendation as well. I think they're just asking for a little bit of leniency on the time to include those additional native plantings.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments on this one from the board or from the public? Okay. Yeah, I think I'm fine with just put a note in the file, I guess, Anna. For when a new application comes in, we'll just look for those plantings for the tree replacement. I'm good with it. So this is an exemption request.
Correct. The
I
commission,
don't think we
sometimes
vote
they
on it.
vote, sometimes they don't. So it's your preference. But if the commission is amenable to it, Judy and I will write up that letter, and Carrie will deal with the removal of the trees.
Okay. I'm good with that, just writing a letter. Thanks. All right. Moving along, we have 0 Sylvan Way, Cameron Woods exemption request for a trail bridge. Do we have anyone on the line for this?
Yes, this is David Freed. I live at 73 Winter Street.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Great to be here.
Do you want to give a description of what you're requesting here? Or-
Okay, I don't know
Yeah,
if
I can.
you're able to, I sent in an application. I don't know if anyone is able to pull it up, or possibly I could pull it up. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Right here, yep.
Okay, so I guess I just would first go to the map on the second page. So I live where that blue dot is at 73 Winter, and then behind me is Cameron Woods. And you can see there's a section of the Sylvan Way subdivision between my house and the main portion of Cameron Woods. There's been a trail going through my yard connecting up to the Red Trail ever since I moved into this area. It's at least 30 years old. It goes through a kind of a wetlands area where I show as the boardwalk location. That's kind of a shrubby wetlands type of area. And the trail has been going through there forever. Over the years, the ground has sunk down or the roots have popped up to the point where it's kind of difficult to walk through there, or I do a lot of mountain biking. I mountain bike through there. Yeah, I have a couple pictures of that area. You can see where kind of the roots have popped up above the grade. So I'd like to put in a boardwalk through that area, just like a standard boardwalk that you see tons of other places in the woods. I got approval from the Open Space Preservation Committee at their November meeting last year, and kind of, but the approval was contingent upon approval by the Conservation Commission. And I've been a little slow getting in this application, but here it is.
Okay.
I'm happy to answer any questions. So what I'm asking the commission is to approve me building a bridge on town land on that trail through that location.
Okay. Thank you for that description and the pictures and the maps. Anna, do you have anything, Anna or Judy, do you have anything to add to what Mr. Freed has described here based on your knowledge?
Through the chair, Judy, I don't want to keep talking over you. So if you want to talk, just absolutely step in. So Judy and I did walk the trail last Friday, and he's right. Like the roots are definitely raised up. It is, I tripped a few times just trying to, take some pictures, and the footing is not great in that area. I used my handy dandy camera measuring tool. So the area with the roots seemed to be about 50 feet. I believe Mr. Freed is requesting about 40 feet worth of boardwalks. The description that he is including seems pretty standard for other descriptions of footbridges that the commission has approved in the past. It is a little unique that it's a homeowner requesting versus, one of the land trusts that we typically work with, or open space, but I don't think it's unheard of, and open space has agreed to allowing this to be installed. So I would think that it is something that the commission would entertain, and but since it is through the wetlands, that's why Judy and I aren't doing the approval again, having the commission do the approval if they so choose.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Chair, the only thing I would add is I believe David mentioned he's carrying the segments in, not building on site. But correct me if I'm wrong.
I would build on site. I mean, I am not sure why. It must have been a copy and paste error from the template I used, but my intention was to build it on site.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the only way to get it level. Really.
Okay.
Actually, not the only way, but yeah. No, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, from your sketch, it looked like it was, like you said, similar to any of the bridges or footbridges that we see the scouts do and whatnot throughout town. It does look like a very well-used path, so it's already cut obviously for you. It doesn't look like, I mean, you anticipate cutting much in the way of trees or brush or anything to put this in?
No, I would maintain the existing trail where it is.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that seems to be the best place to put it.
Yep. Okay. Seems okay to me. I don't know if anyone else on the commission has any comments or thoughts that they want to bring up for this.
Well, Melissa, I just have a question. I can't find the map, but is this near the Phipps property by any chance? Just near Phipps over there, that open space has been looking or
Yeah,
considering
the Phipps
acquiring?
property, it's near it, yes, but the Phipps property is, if you see Sylvan Way, the Phipps property is
Yeah, south of that or
is
west,
south of Sylvan
east of
Way,
that,
yes.
yeah. Okay.
It's
Okay.
it's kind of
Yep,
that
thank
pink thing, I think might be it.
So it is, even though it ends in your yard, as it were, there's nowhere out onto Winter Street. There's no trailhead at Winter Street, is there? Does it go back onto open space property and then out to?
The red trail goes out to Winter Street, and where you see that number 2, that is a trailhead right there.
Yeah, and then there's the one on Sylvan Way, right? Oh, yeah, right. Okay. All right. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone from the audience have any questions, comments on this? Scrolling through. I don't see any. Yeah, I think we're good on this one. So this is another exemption request that we don't necessarily have to vote on, but it would be a letter written down in a letter by Judy. Based on our discussion tonight. And I think that's fine. So are you good with writing up a letter, Judy?
Yep, I can do that.
Summarizing that? Okay. Yeah, and we'll just outline the things. Obviously, you outlined your plan, and I would just note in there that, you know, you're maintaining the existing alignment of the trail and not taking down, you know, not veering from that or taking down any additional trees or shrubs. So, thanks for coming in and presenting to us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your consideration.
Great. All right. Being that it's 7:20, I'm going to jump back up to continued hearings. To 60 North Mill, request for determination of applicability, continuation of the septic system. Anna or Judy, you want to update us on this one?
Sure, through the chair.
Yep.
So y'all heard about this one at last meeting. The only thing we were waiting on was a planting plan for the area between the tree line and the PIBs, since this was kind of just blank in the original plan. We did receive a planting plan that proposed 9 native bushes in that area. So 3 high bush blueberry, 3 inkberry, and 3 spice bush. The commission recommended 6, so they've done us 3 better. And those are really all of the updates. Anna and I took a look at it and everything seems okay. So let us know if anyone has questions.
Okay. No, that sounds like what I remember. That's great. They're adding a couple more. Yep, all in that area. Okay. It looks good to me. Does anyone else on the commission have any questions, comments?
The chair?
Yes, Joe.
I haven't looked over the new plan. I just I thought there was some conversation about adjusting the PIB line last time, and I didn't know if that was done on this plan or not.
Good point, Joe. So I do see the PIB, the barrier rocks along Mow line. I can't remember where it was before.
Through the chair.
Yes.
It didn't change, so I'll just scroll up. Oh, I don't have the original plan on here, but they were in the exact same place. The only thing different on this revised plan is the plantings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is Dan McIntyre representing the homeowner. That's correct. We didn't change the well and marker locations at all. We thought the locations originally proposed were good to be kind of right on the edge of the lawn and the woods. And moving them into the middle of the lawn didn't seem to serve any purpose other than them being removed in the future by the homeowner, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I think looking at the plan now, I think it At least it makes sense to me the way I'm looking at it right now with the bushes and the disturbed area there, or the, where there aren't any trees, and then having the PIB with the barrier rocks described along that dotted line. Does anyone else have any from the commission have any recollection or requests in regards to the PIB line?
Looks like what we discussed last time.
Yeah, okay.
And maybe confusing this with a different project, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think just looking at the plan the way it is
Yeah.
now, regardless, it makes sense to me, I think so.
Yeah, well, through the chair, I believe Joe, you're probably thinking about, there's another project we talked about at the last hearing that had similar barrier rocks. Yeah, I think.
As I'm looking at the
yeah.
plan right now, I was mistaken on my comments.
Okay, no worries. We looked at a lot of very similar projects last meeting. Felt like it was just repeat. So, okay, that being said, can I get a motion to approve this plan?
We'll make a motion to approve the plan we see on our screen with signatures by Judy or Anna.
Can I get a second?
I'm happy to second that.
All right. Yeah, Ted. Awesome. I'll go down the roll call. Jim?
Aye.
Ted?
Aye.
Janine?
Aye.
Heather?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
And I'm also an aye. So thank you. You're all good to go.
Thank you very much.
Yep. All right, next up we have 71 West Main Street, request for determination of applicability continuation on the ramp. Yes, so is the applicant on the line for this filing?
Yes.
You are, okay. Good evening.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, thanks for coming back. You want to give us an update on what you might have uncovered or found or decided since we last talked?
Well, the plan that you see on the screen, let's see. So we've clarified the removal of the shed, which was a talking point last time. It's in disrepair. We want to just carefully remove it without any machinery, and just place it in a dumpster and get it off the site. And we could plant the area with native plantings, or we could do put grass there, whatever the commission desires. And then we also have been working with a few different departments on trash removal, or trash and recycling once the bakery is up and running. So what we'd like to propose is, rather than a dumpster, the business doesn't generate a lot of waste, really. It can be handled with 2 small rollaway bins that we'd like to put in an area that we want to build right behind the driveway. You see the cursor going over there, to the kind of south of the garage, about 10 feet from the building, off the parking area, because we're going to need the owner's going to park right next to the garage, right where it says asphalt pavement there. That's where his truck's going to be. And so, it'll be screened from view, far back from the road, and also convenient, so it'll be easy to use, and I think as far away as possible from the stream in question, which I think we'll be talking about shortly, which is to the east of the site. Those are the only updates we've made. And then we've also requested a jurisdictional, I guess, decision or whatever, I forget what it's called, I apologize, regarding the stream itself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that update. So Joe, were you looking at the jurisdiction of the stream in more detail? Is that,
Yes, I did.
okay,
And I did send the revised memo today. I don't know if anyone's had a chance to look at it.
I did read it. I can't, I could honestly say that I didn't follow everything that you wrote.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of it. And I guess I can, I don't know how much the commission wants me to give in detail, but there have been, there are two previous ORADs that were issued in close proximity to this site. That one was in, I think the first one was 2013, and the second one was 2016. The 2013 one was for the parcel immediately to the east of the site that we're looking at today, and also the properties to the south where the Constitution Court and Independence Place were eventually located. That ORAD approved a BVW line and also approved a stream as intermittent in this area. Now, the stream that was approved as intermittent is the stream that flows from the south north toward this site. But as it was approved on those plans, the stream, when it's about 500 feet south of the current site, it makes a turn to the northeast and roughly parallels West Main Street. There is no finding on the stream that is located directly east of the site in any of these filings. There were 3 filings that the commission had sent to me to take a look at. So there was a determination of intermittent streams in 2013, and that stream flows is shown on the plans about 500 feet south of the site. There's no stream shown east of the site, which is the one that we're looking at now. In 2016, the ORAD approved the BVW delineation, but really made no mention of the stream. There were minutes in that file indicating that I think there were drought conditions, so observations of dry conditions were not valid. The applicant's consultant had said that he was familiar with the stream and that it dries regularly, and the commission's peer review consultant also had mentioned that he had observed that stream dry during non-drought conditions. So they've issued the ORAD without any comment on that stream, with no stream stats. And between the 2 of those ORAD filings, there was no stream stats done on the stream as it curves south of the site. And there was no indication as far as how the plans, how the stream was placed on those plans, because there was no delineation, there were no bank flags. So it was unclear if it was survey located and placed on those plans, or if it was based on aerial imagery, or how it was placed. So that's one issue. There's the stream diverges depending on what plan or what map you're looking at. If you do a current stream stats analysis, the stream stats program considers the stream that runs east of the site as the primary channel, and does not continue the watershed much further to the east. However, based on the approved ORADs, the primary stream is not the stream that runs east of the site, that curves to the northeast, south of the site. So that's one issue. The other issue is that the stream stats watershed analysis for this stream, we're talking about the stream directly east of the site, is apparently in error. And this was brought to light in a project that was done, a drainage project that was done for Maspenock Lake, where there were some large 48-inch culverts that were replaced. And a stream stats analysis was run for the stream flowing roughly from the area of I-495 west to Maspenock Lake. And it showed that stream is intermittent. During the course of the review, the project engineers looked at drainage plans that were prepared for I-495 and for South Street, and determined that 495 really changed the watershed in that area, and that the watershed now extends much further east than what would be indicated by a stream stats analysis, to the point where it made the stream going to Maspenock Lake perennial, and reduces the watershed that stream stats includes for the current stream that we're looking at. I know it's getting probably very confusing. So regarding the stream we're looking at today that is located east of the project site, one of the ways I looked at it was to use the current stream stats analysis, which includes the portion of the watershed that was determined to actually flow toward Maspenock Lake. And then I did a separate stream stats analysis for the portion of the watershed, approximate portion of the watershed that flows toward Maspenock Lake, and subtracted that from the total that stream stats gives for the stream that's located east of the site. And if you do that, it comes out a little bit under a half of a square mile. It comes up to 0.43 square miles, which is too small to be considered perennial. But that said, there's really nothing definitive at this time based on my review, because of the issues with the stream stats watershed analysis being off, and the difference in the location of the primary stream channel on the previously approved ORAD plans, and what stream stats is considering the primary stream channel. So in the end, I think we were recommending the applicant, if the commission so requires, to get a definitive determination, would be to have to run a watershed analysis to see the actual size of that watershed and which stream is actually carrying the flow at a location south of the current site.
Okay. Well,
confusing, I know.
I get it. Yeah. No, I get it. I see a lot of things pointing to the commission in the past, and based on just the analysis that you did for this to be really, I don't know, leaning towards an intermittent stream. I
would not disagree with that.
I don't know that it's for what we're looking at the site right now, what the project is. I don't know that it makes sense for the applicant to go through a lot more effort to try and determine to prove this stream when we do have a lot of data here from previous projects and what we've assumed to date that it's been intermittent up until this point because we of all the information that you're pointing out here in the report. And this comes down to really whether or not we are looking for a notice of intent or would entertain this as an RDA in the end, I think is what we established at the last meeting. Is what it comes down to. I don't know if anyone else on the commission has thoughts, but I'm leaning toward just based on the history of the information provided being consistent with what it's been classified to up until this point as an intermittent stream, but I'd be open to other opinions from others on the board.
Makes sense to me.
Melissa? Makes sense to Jim. What was that, Heather?
It was me. I said I would agree with your assessment, Melissa.
Okay.
Makes sense.
You have any thoughts, Matt?
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. If we've got some historical information that indicates this is an intermittent stream and some of the current data is a little bit unclear as to whether or not it would qualify as perennial, I think we've got good basis to move forward with it as an intermittent stream and make a decision RDA versus NOI, given that information.
Okay. All right. I think that I think we're all on the same page there. So we'll go with that, and we'll look at this as an intermittent stream. So we're not dealing with a riverfront area here. So we can entertain this as an RDA. So that being said, we can go back to what's proposed here with the walkway, the ramp on the helical piles, the shed being removed. We had talked about that in the last meeting as being some mitigation for the proposed walkway. That's in that 50-foot and 100-foot buffer. And now we have an additional space here we're looking at presented tonight, which is the hardscape pad. Is that concrete when you say hardscape? A concrete pad?
No, I think it's a very light. So we want to get 2 large plastic bins and then a plastic enclosure to cover the bins to keep animals out and that sort of thing. So it's a light structure. We'd like to just use pavers similar to the walkway that we're proposing.
Okay.
And we're not looking to pour concrete or do any a more impactful hardscape, just pavers.
Okay. And the reason for the space, like the length that comes off in front of the trash receptacles, you're saying that's where they're planning on parking a truck?
Right.
Or the
there. Right. Yes. Right next to the garage, planning on parking a truck.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a parking plan that unfortunately I didn't send to Anna today. But basically there's a garage right above where it says buffer zone. That's a garage. We're going to use that for parking for employees. And then directly next to the garage is parking for employees. And then, so if we put I understand the concern. It would be better if it were closer to the driveway, right? And we wouldn't be
right. Yeah. I'm asking. Yeah, exactly. Why is it so far away?
It's just to give some breathing room from the building because, it's going to be a trash. There could be food in it. We just, in case it attracts things, we just want to keep it some distance away from the building. And then also just for ease of access, if there is a vehicle parked there, it would just be easier to work around it if it were not directly next to the building, but I understand the concern. That's why it's proposed there, though.
Okay. And that is all grass area where you're proposing that
Correct.
hardscape pad?
It's all grass now, yes. Right up to the property line, and I think slightly beyond it, but then it's, there's some weeds and other things just past the property line. But there's all grass right around it now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do we know the square footage of the shed area being removed versus these two new
I can tell you that right now.
new areas, pavers?
I can tell you that right now. Just give me about 1 minute here. So the shed itself. The shed is 167 square feet. The area that I'm talking about now, the hardscape area that I just described, is 96 square feet. So 167 for the shed, 96 square feet for what for the trash area. And would you like an area calculation for the rest of the proposed?
Yep, I'm curious what the other walkway area is.
The walkway itself is 80. So that's 96 over by the trash, 80 for that. For the walkway to the east of the building, and then the ramp and the landing. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no problem. So the ramp and the landing are 165.
Okay.
Would you like me to add all those up?
Oh, I get it.
Okay.
341 through the chair.
341, yep. Okay. Okay.
341 proposed, 167 removed, right?
Yep. Okay. All right, those are all my questions. Does anyone else on the commission have?
And I'm sorry, one other thing. We could slide the trash bins closer to the driveway if you'd prefer.
Okay.
Alyssa,
Yes.
I'm happy for that last comment from the applicant. I don't want to be a stickler, and I'm excited to have a bakery and have this commercial spot reopened. I don't like setting the precedent of allowing that shed within the 50-foot buffer when I didn't hear a really extraordinarily good reason why it needs to be there. So, and given, I love that the shed is being removed, but given that only a little bit of it, maybe a third, is within the 50-foot buffer, we're adding much more to the buffer if we allow the trash receptacle area there. Mm-hmm. So I feel a little guilty being a stickler, but not guilty enough to keep my mouth closed.
Yep.
Through the chair.
Yes.
I have the same thoughts as Ted. So for me, I could not vote yes on that.
Okay. Anyone else have any thoughts, comments? The commission or the audience?
I'll take it one further, I guess.
Yep.
For this to be an RDA, in my opinion, the trash receptacles would need to be located outside the 50-foot buffer zone.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'd be looking notice of intent. Personally,
we can do.
I think I agree with that, Matt. Thanks.
I wonder if it could go over on the other side of the building next to the walkway.
It can. So directly next to the walkway, right?
Yeah.
Directly east of it, up tight to the Cape Cod berm.
Mm-hmm.
Is that or close to it anyway? So it does drop off slightly actually not slightly, it drops off. You can see a couple feet down to where the shed area is. So we would need to do some filling in to create a flat area, but obviously it wouldn't be a large area that we would need to be creating. So
Yeah, I think that the thing about the trash receptacles is it just, the closer it is to the wetland, the easier things are to migrate out and into the wetland, from there. So that would be appreciated, getting it out of that 50-foot. Okay. So if you could take a look, update the plan to move the trash receptacles out of the 50. And then I think as far as we should give you some thoughts, I guess, on what we want the area to look like once the shed's removed.
yes, please.
Yep. I mean, I think I would be okay with seating. It's all grass in that area that surrounds it, right? I don't know. I guess I would look for any comments from the commission on that too. Anybody have any thoughts? Yep.
I don't think it was grass. I think it was kind of hidden behind some shrubbery or overgrown bushes of some kind. I think it lends itself more to shrub planting, if my memory is correct about what surrounds it. Oh, my memory is not.
There we go.
That's the shed there.
I mean, there are shrubs around it. It does.
I thought it was kind of hidden behind shrubs. I may be thinking of a different shed and a different project.
From a different angle, it is.
Maybe that's what it was. I would prefer plantings to align with the plantings that are there.
Okay. Yeah, no, that gives a good picture. I was thinking it was just in the middle of a lawn. So if you could maybe work with Judy and Anna, that we have some guidelines in our bylaw about planting. How many plants should be spaced in a given area. So if you don't mind just updating the plan to indicate that. They also have planting lists of native species that you can pick off of as far as what you might want.
That sounds great. And as you can see in this photo, the trash bins would be pretty much directly behind that white line that you see there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, and then our new plantings would be basically a continuation of that shrub or whatever that planting is, right?
Yeah, that buffer there. Yep. Yep. Yeah, no, I think that's a good idea, and we'll prevent cutting grass growing and cutting. So.
Okay. Chair.
Yep. Go ahead, Matt.
One good comment. I agree entirely with the shrubs. I think that's a great idea. From what I recall, to the left of the shed, there is some knotweed. It's a relatively small patch of it along the wetland edge there, or within the buffer. It may make sense to incorporate some invasive species management because it doesn't seem like it's out of control. It seems like it's a small pocket. So if we could do something now to mitigate that from continuing to spread, I think there's some value there, especially if the shed's being removed. There's going to be some exposed soil potentially. It's a good opportunity to try to nip it in the bud.
Through the chair.
Yes, Anna.
Judy, could you move that picture so we can see the plan again? I believe the shed is pretty much on the property line, Matt, so I don't know if that knotweed is off property.
I think it's on property. So if you go, you can see at the top right of the plan, you can see the sign where it says RDA. You can see like a small portion of the rectangle there. The knotweed is just page south of that. To the right.
Okay, so it's closer to the roadway. Okay.
Yeah, it's closer to the roadway. Yeah.
Thank you for that clarification, Matt.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Mr. Gallen, I think that our staff and Judy could probably give you some guidance as well, maybe Joe, on what that would look like for invasive species management strategies.
Okay.
just as a site owner, because yeah, like that stuff can really take over.
Yeah.
Take over all of your, green area. It's not pretty. So maybe you can get ahead of it.
Yep.
Through the chair, is it fair to say to give Mr. Gallant some good direction leaving here? If he comes back to us with a plan that shows the trash receptacles outside the 50-foot, the shed removed with some shrubs replacing it, and a invasive species management plan for the knotweed, we'd be satisfied to make a decision and move forward.
I would be all set. Yep. And our next meeting is December 17th. So we could entertain it at that meeting if you can get it together in the next couple weeks.
That would be great.
Would that work? Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
So can I get a motion to continue this to December 17th?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
And we'll do the roll call. Jim?
Aye.
Ted?
Aye.
Janine?
Aye.
Heather?
Aye.
And I am also an aye.
As am I.
Sorry, Matt and Matt.
All good.
All right. So we'll see you in a couple weeks, Mr. Allen.
See you then. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Next up, we have 150 Fruit Street, notice of intent continuation, site work for a single family home. So last we spoke, this came in with an updated plan right before our last meeting. So we asked Lucas and staff to take time to review it. I know we got some comments back from Lucas. Joe, I think those came in yesterday. Today. Can you just go over the couple things that you caught when you were looking at the plan for the commission?
Yeah, no major issues. The initial review had noted that wetland A flags were not continued to the property line. And the revised plan continues the A series on the north end of the wetland to the property line, but didn't continue it on the south end. And frankly, the south end doesn't really impact the buffer zone on the where the proposed work is, so I don't see it as a major issue, unless the commission wants to have the full line shown on the plan. And so, like I said, some minor. I still did not see a checklist as required under the bylaw in the revised materials. And the site plan still did not have the vertical datum and the field survey date, which is typically something that should be included on the plan. And also have just wanted to again clarify that if the buffer zones are correctly shown, it's a small area where it looks like the total buffer zones disturbance that was provided on the bylaw form had an increase in buffer zone for IBW because we had two additional IBWs, but it had a decrease in the buffer zone for BBW. And it looked like there's actually, with the change in the flagging of wetland A, BBW, a slightly larger buffer zone from wetland A. And it's not significant. I estimate it's, 45 to 50 square feet. That's additional in the buffer, in the BB, additional work in the BBW buffer zone that is not noted on the bylaw form. So I don't know if the commission wants the form updated and corrected, or further explanation of those buffer zones. And then just as a new comment regarding the planting density, there's some proposed plants in the 2 isolated wetlands. I think there's a red maple in the smaller one and a red maple and a couple of high bush blueberry in the other one. If the commission is looking to have those planted at the recommended densities in their bylaw, then it would require a couple of additional plants.
Okay. It sounds like there's a couple loose ends. Mitch, I think I saw Mitch from Goddard Consulting. Are you on the line? Do you want to respond or talk about any of the comments?
Sure. Yes. So thank you, Joe, for the comments. I think so. It sounds like the A series wetland line connecting to the property boundary is not a non-issue since it won't impact the project. The buffer zone calculation also seems like a minor issue. Not really, it won't really impact the commission's decision whether to approve the project or not. Whether it be 40 or 50 more square feet of impact from the original plan. And I think that calculation may have been, since the IVWs were added to the plan, some of that buffer zone disturbance that was originally calculated as BVW buffer zone disturbance may have been added into the IVW buffer zone disturbance. So it may all be accounted for. But regardless, I don't think it would impact the commission's decision-making on the project. And then the third item was the amount of plantings. So when we were with the commission a couple weeks ago, or it was a month ago now, we had discussed that we would do 1 red maple tree in the E series and then 2 red maple trees in the D series, but I ended up splitting it up into a red maple and 2 hybrid blueberries just to add some more diversity. But so I think, it would be nice if we could just continue agreeing sort of with what we decided at the 2 previous hearings ago, and not, continuing to bolster up the plantings in there, because the plantings themselves are already a major improvement to those wetlands. So, because right now they're just, the E series is just lawn, and then the D series is a pile of wood. So overall, I think the commission, has everything in their hands that they need to make the decision tonight. So I think it would be ideal if the commission would be willing to vote to issue and order conditions.
Okay. Thank you for your thoughts on that. I would say that, I agree the comments wouldn't change my decision on the application and how I'd vote, but I mean I do appreciate clean paperwork for our files. So I think that we should clean up the square footage on the forms and make sure they're representative of the plan that we're approving. I'm fine with the wetland flag on the A series not connecting at the bottom. Was there a checklist? Did you do a checklist, or is that just missing?
Nope, no checklist.
Okay. And then my vague recollection from our discussions, I think we might have talked about the number of plants, so I'm inclined to be okay with the numbers that you have on here just based on past meeting discussions. But I defer to any additional comments from the board if anybody has any thoughts that they want to share.
So through the chair, and I apologize for this question. I missed the first hearing, so I may just end up needing to abstain. But looking at the permanent immovable barriers, they're creating a path through the 50-foot buffer zone. I'm just curious why we have the permanent immovable barriers making a path through the 50-foot. It looks confusing for a homeowner. No, I'm surprised we didn't just put them on the erosion control barrier line. I know there's no backyard, like with this property, so I can see this in the future going to be creep because the homeowner is going to come in back and say, can I have a backyard? But it just confuses me that we have the permanent movable barriers laid out that way.
Yeah, we did talk about this in one of our meetings and kind of went back and forth on it. And I think the thought was that this site has been, it has been worked a lot. It's got these meadow areas that have been existing for quite some time. And that is the one that goes through the tree line there. Was kind of an asset to the property. And like you said, there's not much lawn. So we entertained putting the PIBs along the existing tree line to maintain the buffer where it is and allow them to, you know, have this kept meadow area that they could continue to use. So we did talk about it in one of our meetings.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for indulging me for answering that when I missed the meeting. So,
yeah.
Melissa, I think I might be in the same place as Janine. I don't remember this hearing. And I'm looking at a slightly different plan that was sent to us. And there's plenty of work, be it landscaping or building, between the 100 and the 50-foot from the wetlands. I'm just really uncomfortable with this whole thing, but I don't remember meeting with it. And I don't know if we have numbers for me to abstain on a vote as well. I certainly wouldn't want to upturn the apple cart if we had an extensive meeting on this with discussions that I missed.
I'm pretty sure, unless I'm the only one that's remembering it, but I'm pretty sure we talked about this. And not everyone has to agree, and it can be voted on however you want to vote on it, whether you want to or not. But I don't know. Is anyone else?
I'm not saying we didn't meet. I just don't know if I was I know I missed a meeting somewhere.
Through the chair.
Because of school.
Yes, Anna.
Both Ted and Janine were missing at the first hearing for this application.
So that makes me feel better, at least, that I don't have the memory. Thank you for that, Anna.
And I'll make you feel better, Melissa. I do remember this conversation.
Okay.
So it did happen.
Ed was here, but he's not here today. I remember Ed talking about it.
Yep.
Through the chair, just to remind everyone, and for Janine and Ted, I have to recuse myself from comment or from this discussion because I live in very close proximity to this site.
Great. Thanks, Heather.
So my apologies then, but at least I feel better that I wasn't here. May I ask a question or two for clarification?
Sure.
Is there any building on this site right now, or is it just a mix of meadow and trees?
It is currently a mix of meadow, trees, and some soil stockpile areas.
And is this a neighborhood that's somehow grandfathered in with the 100-foot buffer Hopkinton bylaws? Sometimes we run into those where there's the kind of grandfathered in and then we're only holding to the 50. We only have jurisdiction to the 50.
Through the chair, it is not a grandfathered lot.
Okay. So I don't know if my comment is worthwhile at this point or not, but I am unhappy with how much of the garage and how much landscaping goes right up against the 50-foot buffer. The garage, to my eyes, looks like it's almost the same size as the house. And I gotta think that things could be refigured to get much more work outside of the 100-foot buffer. I'm not a fan where the PIBs are. I wish I were at the last meeting so I could have voiced those questions or concerns, but here I am now, so.
Yep. Thanks, Ted.
Melissa.
Yes, Jim.
I recall the meeting as well, but it seems like with Ed absent, if Ted and Janine and Judy abstain, then we don't have enough votes one way or the other, right? We should wait until Ed is here to vote. Well, Matt was there.
So
there
we
are
have
4 of us. There are only 3 of us present now who are at that meeting. Right?
3 of us are present that were at,
Yeah,
all the
me,
meetings.
you, and Matt.
Mm-hmm.
I can go back and watch the recording before the next meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
you
when
can bring
we're
yourself
planning on
to
voting.
speed, but I just don't think we can vote tonight because I don't think if you guys abstain.
I would also be, Jim, I would also be happy to go back and watch the video if the applicant is comfortable putting a vote off. With the answers to the 2 questions that I was given, I'm okay voting tonight. But I think that I would be more comfortable voting if I could go back and watch the last meeting.
Yeah. Mitch, how do you feel about continuing so that we can get a better representation of the commission members here, and you could clean up some of the paperwork here so we're squeaky clean on the application?
I would, if we're able to have a quorum to vote, I would prefer that occur tonight.
Okay. So we would need, so Matt, Jim, Ted, myself. Janine, would you abstain?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be 4 of us. 4 of us voting. I think we can vote with 4, right, Anna?
Yes.
Well, we're on the risk of splitting, but okay.
Through the chair, if we
Yes.
vote with 4 of us, does he need 3 positive, 3 in favor for it to pass, or does he need all 4 of us in favor?
My understanding is you just need a majority of the voting members to pass.
Okay.
Majority of the members who are actually voting tonight.
Correct.
So
Okay.
through the chair,
Yep.
I would be comfortable voting tonight. I'm leaning as being in favor of it with some conditions. One being that the plan be updated to incorporate the vertical datum that's been requested. This is a survey plan that's a structure, that's a foundational piece of information that should be on the plan. And that the paperwork be updated to reflect the actual impact areas based on Ellie's comment letter. I'd also like to see the checklist completed and submitted for the record, given that's a minimum requirement for the filing. It got past the completeness review, so we've gotten to this point, but our regulations are clear. Joe's correct. That is a required component to a notice of intent filing. So I think it's important for those 3 items to be included in the final approved package.
Okay.
Through the chair, can I amend Matt's vote to include a signature by Anna?
Oh yeah, that wasn't a motion. That was just an opinion.
Oh, okay.
Before we go to a motion, I'm just trying to give Mitch a sense of at least where I am, and I don't know if any other commissioners feel it necessary to do so before we go to a vote, but just putting it out there.
No, I think that's good to clear up those conditions because, yeah, it's a little messy right now. Does that cover all the commission, all the conditions that commission members would be comfortable voting within, or is there anything else? I think that covered everything we talked about in Joe's
Thank
letter.
you, Matt. Thank you, Matt.
Through the chair, did you want to add anything about flagging the A-series wetlands to the property line?
That comment, Joe, was for just a plan update, right? Extending the line.
Right, initially, both the north and the south ends of wetland A were not extended to the property line, but they have extended the north side on the revised plan, but not the south side. And as I say, the south side buffer zone doesn't really impact the proposed work area.
Yeah, I think I'm okay without making that plan change since it's not impacting the work area. I'm okay with that. All right, so can I get a motion? Or Matt, do you want to officially make that motion?
Yeah, if everyone else is ready for me to make a motion, I'm happy to make the motion to issue an order of conditions with the 3 conditions previously stated.
Okay, and signatures by Anna or Judy.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
All right. So we'll go ahead and do the roll call vote with Heather abstaining and Janine abstaining from this vote. So we have Jim.
Aye.
Ted.
No.
Matt.
Aye.
And I'm gonna give it an aye. So you are good, Mitch, as long as you get those 3 things over to us.
Yeah, thank you, Commission. Matt, thank you for proposing those conditions, and thank you, Commission members, for accepting those conditions. And we'll look forward to getting you those, and talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to, all right, those are all our hearings. Next we have 8 Leonard Street, request for certificate of compliance. Anna or Judy, do you want to go over this?
Through the chair, I'm happy to, with potentially some Joe input, although I don't, it was Devin that reviewed the site, not Joe. So 8 Leonard Street is one of 3 single-family houses that were constructed by Wall Street Development down near the end between Maple Street Extension and Leonard Street. So new single-family house. The isolated wetland is in the center of the property, closest to Leonard Street. Devin did a review on behalf of Lucas Environmental. Overall, pretty positive reviews, site in compliance. There were some existing landscape features outside of the commission's jurisdiction that are not shown on the plan. There's a swing set. There's some crushed stone around the shed. There was some additional features that were in the commission's jurisdiction, such as the riprap down along the driveway. I don't know if the commission remembers Mr. Petrosi coming in and when the water comes down off the adjacent street and then Leonard Street, it was starting to wash out the driveway. So he had come to the commission to ask if some riprap could be installed there to help protect that driveway from eroding. And the drainage easement pipe was not shown on the plan. So the applicant has updated those 2 features within the commission's jurisdiction at my request. and the homeowners have removed as much of the erosion controls as they could. There was a few pieces that were frozen into the ground, so they will be removing those in the spring. The homeowners did reach out to me and ask. There was quite a bit of trash and construction debris in the wetland, so they have hand removed that and made that much more of a wildlife happy place. And at this point, I would recommend the commission consider issuing the certificate of compliance for number 8 Leonard Street.
All right. Thanks, Anna. Joe, do you have anything to add?
I don't think so. I think Anna pretty much covered it all.
Okay. Well, that being said, does anyone from the commission have any questions, comments, concerns? No.
Nope.
All right, can we get a motion to go ahead and issue the certificate of compliance?
So moved.
Second.
Through the chair.
Oh, with signatures by Anna and Judy.
Thank you.
Anna or Judy. All right, so we got a motion and a second, and we'll just go down the list here. Jim.
Aye.
Ted.
Aye.
Janine.
Aye.
Heather.
Aye.
Matt.
Aye.
And I'm also an aye. All set. All right, next up we have we need to vote to allow Judy to sign commission documents. And Anna sent me over language for this, so let me pull it up. So yeah, I think it's a good idea to have Judy and Anna both be allowed to sign for the commission, or to, leave it open for both of them. Anna, should we vote for both of you or situation, or you already have signing authority, so we just add Judy to a vote for Judy?
Through the chair, I still have a recorded signature authority, so it's just to add Judy as an additional signature authority on behalf of the commission.
Okay.
So it should be 2 separate votes. I think I sent you.
Yeah, you did. Okay. Does anyone have any questions or comments on this before I ask for a vote? No? Okay. So vote 1 is the delegation of signature authority. Moved that the Hopkinton Conservation Commission authorize Conservation Administrator Judy Day to physically sign on behalf of the commission, when so directed by vote of the commission, documents issued by the committee under the Wetlands Protection Act, GLC 13140, or the Hopkinton Wetland Protection Bylaw, including but not limited to orders of conditions and certificates of compliance.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
All right. All in favor? We have Matt.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Heather.
Aye.
Ted.
Aye.
And Janine.
Aye.
All right, and I'm also an aye. Vote number 2 is for electronic signatures. Move that the Hopkinton Conservation Commission recognizes and accepts the provisions of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 110G, regarding electronic signatures for permitting and compliance documents, and that its members will henceforth execute such documents either with electronic signatures or with wet ink signatures, and that both will carry the same legal weight and effect. This statement applies to permitting and compliance documents issued by the Commission under the Wetland Protection Act, GLC 13140, Section 40, or the Hopkinton Wetland Protection Bylaw, including but not limited to orders of conditions and certificates of compliance.
So moved.
So moved. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor? Janine?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Ted,
Aye.
Heather.
Aye.
Did I say Janine?
You did.
Yeah, okay. And I'm an I. I think I got everybody. Sometimes the screen moves around and I get lost. All right, so we're all set on that. All right, next point of business. I got an email the other day from the town. It's the time of year that we put together our annual summary of what the commission has done over the past year for the town mailer document that goes out. So Anna has so kindly put last year's in the folder for tonight's meeting under the work session, so everybody can take a look and just see, what we did last year. And I asked Judy and Anna if they could take a crack. Well, probably Anna, because Judy doesn't know what we did all last year. But maybe Anna can take a stab at drafting something up, and then we can review it, update it if anybody has some fabulous pictures that they want to send over. But one of the things that I noticed that they asked for in the email, which we haven't done necessarily in the past, was they were asking for goals for the upcoming year. Anna did shoot me over when she looked in the files. The last time the commission did formal goals was in 2008. So way before any of our time, before my time on the commission. So I just wanted to bring it up in this meeting, see if anybody had any ideas for goals, or if you can think about goals or things that we might want to put out there for 2025. What we want to do as a commission. I think it's good to have goals, at least a couple things we could do differently or improve, or things we want to try and achieve in the upcoming year. One of the things that I would like to put on there is to put some effort into public education. I think that's one of the areas that we kind of consistently run into, and I think it would help us ultimately if people start to really understand what these PIB markers mean, what wetlands are, that they exist, that they might have them in their yard, where they might go to find them online. And, I think some of the ways we could do that is maybe, putting up at Family Day. There were some great booths by different, the Trails Committee had one, DPW had one. We could kind of get ourselves out there as not just, being more of an education component rather than just only time people see us is when they have to come to one of our meetings and get all nervous and present, or they're in trouble. So that was one of my thoughts. I don't know if anybody has anything else off the top of their head, but.
Melissa, I'll add to your list. And by the way, I think every year we've had goals, and I think we've accomplished all of them, even though we never wrote them down.
Okay.
I would add to your, the items, the things that we need to educate people about would also be COC and, deed restrictions and stuff like that people seem to not pay attention to. But it's a great idea. I love it.
Okay. Yeah, and Judy can think of things too, and anything to make their lives easier.
And by the way, this is for the annual report, right?
It's for the annual report. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I think you're right, Jim. We probably had goals and things that we've done over the years for sure, just not necessarily documented or written them or set, I think when you write them down, it helps reinforce and, feel good.
Well, it helps us to think about, it helps us to think about what we want to accomplish, but we've also exceeded expectations, by the way.
Mm-hmm. course. All right, that was it. If you think of anything, feel free to email Anna or Judy if they, over the next couple weeks, or bring them to the next meeting. That would be appreciated. And I think that's it. We don't have any public forum or anything, right, Anna?
Correct. Yep.
We're good. Okay. So with that, can I get a motion to close the meeting?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
And I will second Jim's motion.
All right. So all in favor, Janine?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Ted?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Heather?
Aye.
And I am an aye.
And happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and we have had a good year.
Same to you.
Yes,
Yep.
happy
A
Thanksgiving.
lot of changes, though. We've had some major changes this year, though, huh? Like 3 big ones.
Yeah. Yeah, we have. So, yeah.
See you guys.
Thank-
Play football in the backyard after you eat those 6,000 calories.
Sounds good.